Hello everyone, we're here at the K&T, and if you've seen my Instagram, HiddenWorldForge and Machine, you'll know that I've been kind of teasing at a new product. Well, this is it. I don't entirely know what I'm going to be calling these. They're simple blocks that clamp to your table and they push on your work. They can be used to clamp your work, but I wouldn't really recommend that. They're mostly meant to push your work around for adjustment and as a stop. Personally, I would use them in conjunction with toe clamps to hold your work down vertically and also horizontally. This project here has been kind of abrasive on me, I will admit. A lot of things have gone wrong. A vise has gone out of tram multiple times and I was too late to notice it, to retram it. I've grenaded a horizontal slitting saw into 4 shiny pieces, and I've dulled my first milling cutter. The first milling cutter that I bought, not the first milling cutter that I've dulled, but the first milling cutter that I bought. I dulled it. 3-inch milling cutter that was 1 inch wide. So I'm wanting to release this video and show off this little device of mine to see what the interest is in it, whether or not I should continue. Now, I've sort of found all of the kinks in my manufacturing process and all of the issues that I have, and they're all very easy to fix. Rather than using hot roll steel, then use cold roll steel, things like that. But I don't know if I want to invest in all of that if you, the consumer, the viewer, whatever you would like to call yourself, are not interested in such a little device. I can definitely see how these would be useful in my shop, and I can definitely see how they'd be useful in other people's shops. It'd be really nice for large castings to bolt them down and to move them around for adjustment. Let's say you have a big old tractor axle and you don't want to sit there and be hitting on it with a hammer. Maybe the soft hammers that you have don't move it enough, or the big hammers that you have might damage it. This, you can just clamp to your table, move it around. Gives you a couple tons of force. Naturally, I'd be very careful using these to clamp parts down alone, because if you put too much pressure on these guys, they will destroy your T-slots. To help mitigate that, I'm making special T-nuts that are 2 inches long. Right now they're only 5/8 inch thick or wide for 5/8 inch T-slots, but I'd like to make 3/4 inch versions of this for these that can go on the larger machines. And I'd also like to send some to some of my favorite YouTubers. They've taught me a lot. They've helped me get to this point where I can start developing my own products. I'm going to be selling these for $20 if there's interest. If this idea is good but nobody's going to want to buy any, I'm not going to sit there and toil over buying special cutters and developing my processes. But if you think that I should continue with this small project and make these and sell these to the mass market, then please let me know. If you have any ideas for these little guys, please let me know. If you have anything, if you think that I should make them thicker so that they have more surface area and the leverage is greater so that they don't rip up your T-slots. If you think that I should make them smaller for smaller mills so that then you can have something to grip on to smaller parts. Do some light milling. I don't think a little Chinese mill could rip up T-slots. As long as you don't crank down on the handle, the 200-pound shop gorilla seems to be able to do anything these days. If you think that this idea is stupid and that I shouldn't continue with it, let me know. Uses for these things are, I'm not going to say that they're endless. This video is a bit of marketing shill, but yeah, these things, if you're doing work that can be held in a vise, these things aren't going to do anything for you, unless you have some awkward, say, car parts or castings, things like that. maybe you don't want to be hitting on a thin casting, but you still want to adjust it. You can put these down, put a piece of copper or something in between your work and the stops. Push on it and adjust it. These do look very similar to two-piece vices, and they are very similar to two-piece vices. The difference being is these aren't meant to have, these are meant for a smaller area of contact so that you can move your work around. Two-piece vices, you adjust the vise in, you trim the vise in, and you push up against your work and it's clamped down. These guys, if you have an odd angle, you can use them for an odd angle. You can do all sorts of things with these little guys. These guys come in 3 different versions. There's A, B, and C versions. The A version can be perpendicular to your table or parallel. B version can only be parallel, but it has 2 points of contact and a single stud. And the C version has 2 studs to hold it to the table very securely, but a single point of contact. These would be great for a home shop. You could put them pretty much on any of the 4 sides of your part, or 8 sides, depending on how many sides your part has. You could adjust it in. This one would be nice if you're doing some heavier work or you'd like to adjust a long parallel bar. These ones would be great for really heavy work. These ones with the 2 slots, and you got 2-inch T-nuts, you got 4 inches of contact. You can move quite a bit with this. You might actually strip out the bolt. Now, I'd like to add on brass, or find a way to economically put brass tips onto the ends of these. Right now I can't find a way that isn't going to take me hours and hours and hours to do each little one. Might send out little brass shims with them. I might try to find... I'm going to have to find a solution to put some manner of soft end onto the ends of these bolts, or at least have an option. Maybe a small cap that'll thread on, maybe drill and tap the inside and just have little feet. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that more. Again, if you're interested. They're going to be made out of cold roll steel. I'm going to blue them. I'm using 1/2 by 13 bolts at the moment. Larger versions will use like 3/4 inch bolts and 5/8 11 bolts, things like that. They'll scale so that then the standard stud size for that size of T-slot is the same for these guys. If you have a really awkward part and you have to reach in really far to go and adjust something or to hold it down, or for whatever reason, you can do that. I will admit that I can't find myself or find a situation where that would be particularly useful, but there are a practical solution where that would be a practical solution. Can't find any specific situations where that would be useful, but you have that option. Naturally, they're all 1/2 by 13. If you think that I should make these bolts 1/2 by 20, please let me know, because yes, 1/2 by 13 is a bit coarse, but I think that if you're adjusting a part in, you can get some pretty fine adjustments with these guys. If you end up wanting to buy a couple, let me know. Again, they're $20 each. That's for the cold blue version. A couple of them will be hot roll. I might make the hot roll ones $15 just because they're sort of the lower quality version. They do the same thing, but they're made out of hot roll steel. The surface finish will suffer. The accuracy might suffer a small amount, but they don't need to be particularly accurate. I'm working on my manufacturing processes so that all of them come out to be plus or minus a thou, all of the dimensions. I will leave these 2 surfaces untouched, but I like to have the top be parallel, well, not parallel. Yeah, parallel with the top of the table and at a very specific height, so you can use it as not a gauge block, as a parallel, more or less, so that then you have that option, so that they're all very similar in height. I will say that it's all mill finish, and therefore they aren't ground, so they're not going to be stupid accurate. Sadly, I'd love for them to be plus or minus a tenth, but that's just not realistic for me to be able to achieve. And also, they don't need to be plus or minus a tenth. Plus or minus a thou is perfectly fine for them. Well, this is the end of the video, and if you have any questions, comments, if you're interested in them, let me know. I'm testing the waters right now to see whether or not I should go forwards with this project or whether I should just cut my losses now. This is not the best of ideas, and I shouldn't be wasting my time on it. So, comment, like, and subscribe, and I will keep you posted. I have an Instagram, I have a Facebook page, and I post often to YouTube machinists. Well, thank you for watching. Have a good day.